one of the biggest issues going on right now in our country is healthcare. So what is a biblical perspective on how we handle healthcare, especially with the arguments going on in the Senate and the House right now?
Well, I don't know how many people are going to like my answer, but Obamacare is not only doomed to failure, but so is Trump care. And there's a reason for that. The reason for that is our founders were so wise, they put enumerated powers, they listed enumerated powers of what the government is allowed to do and can do. And one of them is not health care. And in the Bible, which is my constitution, it talks about the nature of health care and how it should be handled. And so I start with the presupposition that healthcare is God's issue, and he's already designed a format for which it can be handled. And every time the government gets out of its lane and the church leaves its lane, then destruction is imminent. So what do I mean by that? Let's just take a topic like healthcare. What did I say a moment ago? I said we have 4 forms of government. I said the first one is my personal responsibility. The second one is the government of the family. It has a particular structure. There's the government of the church, and then there's civil government. Okay? Whose job is health care? It falls in the category of the first 3 and not the 4th. First of all, my own personal responsibility. I have to make decisions for my health. If I'm not exercising properly, this is a terrible confession to make. I'm not exercising properly right now like I should. I've got to get that corrected. And if I don't, I'm going to pay a high price for it. That's me not actually operating in the personal responsibility way I should. It's going to cost me my health. That is not a good thing. The second thing is the family is designed. The closer you get the care to the person, the better is the care. I can take care of my children much better than Donald Trump can. He's a good man, but he can't take care of my kids. I can do much better. So the family unit. Now, what if it's more than with the family? The church is in a posture. If we would follow the schedule of taxation, I believe the ancient taxation schedule on ancient Israel, even though it was a theocracy and we're in a constitutional republic, if we were to follow that taxation schedule, it would free up the church once again to be in the role it's supposed to be. It's the healthcare and welfare supplier. And we're in that business. We are predisposed with Jesus' DNA. So we already care for the hurting and the fallen. We already care for the disenfranchised and the poor. We care. God has his favorites. It's the poor and the widows and the orphan. And we care. And if the church were freed up from the encroachment and the severe overregulation of our culture and the severe overtaxation of our culture, the church could resume what it did very successfully. There's a reason why all the hospitals are called St. Paul, St. Mary, St. Joseph. I was born in St. Joseph Hospital. They were all church-run hospitals. And across the world, around America, the best medical care and welfare benefits can be done by the church. I'd even go so far, I'd return to the once every 3 years, 10% taxation on people, poor tax. That would be 3 1/3% of your income every year that would be given to the faith communities to administer. Every faith community administrator, and what we would be done with is all the freeloaders who abuse welfare. And we would be helping people up to get back on their feet, not just this permanent welfare state. The church could make the difference. And it would take a number of things changing. Some say, well, aren't you mixing church and state? No, I'm putting them in their proper lanes. This is the proper separation of church and state.